But yeah, so, you know, I faced a lot of moments of disappointment in my life, and everybody has, honestly. A lot of us want to have this sob story. We went through all this, da. Most people have that as well. But what sets people apart is who's willing to use that disappointment into motivation, and who's willing to call it quits. For me, I'm never calling it quits until I die. And, you know, I've spent so many hours working on different techniques, you know. I always had a problem with head movement. So what I've been doing, hundreds of rounds, I've been, you know, playing virtual sparring. I have a guy throwing punches on the TV, and I dodge it. Let's say he's throwing a 2 and a 3 and a 2. I dodge 2, 3, 2, like that. If he goes 1, 2, 3, I go 1, 2, 3. Constantly do this and embed it into my muscle memory. Constantly, like round upon round, 10 rounds a day, sometimes 30 minutes a day, sometimes even I'll mix it up, I'll do an hour a day. And I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not there yet, because I know I'm never going to be satisfied. I always want to be stronger. I always want to be faster. I always want to be better. You know, I'll play the virtual sparring and I'll work on different strategies. You know, go for openings. I see the opening at the chin. I see the opening at the body. I see an opening at the left side, the right side. I see another one at the body. Keep going for openings. Go for openings. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Build up the fluidity. Make sure everything is fast, sharp. Boom, boom. No matter how tough it gets, keep that sharpness. Keep that speed. Keep going for the openings. I'm doing that. It's literally since 2020. In about, I think this was May, I started counting my rounds, and I'm 2,700 and somewhere around that, 2,700 rounds approximately. You know, that's 135 hours around there that I've committed, and that's not nearly enough to me. To me, that's still slacking. In the span of over a year, let's see, May, June, July, August. So that is a year and 3 months. In the span of a year and 3 months, it should not be 135 hours. It should be over 200 hours. But that's why all these disappointment, whatever it is I'm not satisfied with, step it up. We gotta keep stepping it up. Keep leveling our game up, right? But, so as I was saying, about 3-4 weeks ago, I got back into boxing, and the first day I did some medium contact sparring. The coaches were not really supervising it much. I didn't wear headgear, so I won't count those rounds as actual sparring rounds. I'll count them as technical sparring rounds. And what I realized was, you know, I made some big realizations there. I'm going for openings, but there's a big difference. When you do it on the screen, there's no contact, there's no power, there's no fear. When you do it against the opponent, you go for openings, you feel boom, and you get, oh shoot, I go for openings, but the counter's coming. It's totally different. You know, and virtual sparring helps, it increases your fluidity. I certainly improved quite a bit. But I still have a long way to go, and that's in-person sparring. That's where it matters much more. You can improve virtually in your technique and everything, but in order to get used to those fear, you know, to composure, you gotta go heavy in person, and that's where I'm trying to build myself up. And you know, since I was like a little hesitant, when I felt the power, I was trying to go for openings. When counters came, I switched it. It's all about adjusting. You gotta adjust on the fly, because there'll always be a problem that will present it to your strength, and you have to come up with an adjustment every time. Adjust. So I said, all right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna still go for openings, but I'm gonna attack, defend. Attack, defend. Attack, defend. But then, I wasn't throwing enough. People were coming forward, blah, blah, blah. They would outwork me. And I'm like, everything has a pro and a con, but we gotta find what's best. Nothing will be perfect, we just gotta find what is the closest to perfect. And that's why we constantly adjust. I'm like, okay, I gotta adjust again. Next time I sparred, I realized I was using the attack and defense strategy, but I was missing some shots. I was getting countered, you know, and I was sparring a really experienced guy. He had like 10 or 15 amateur fights back in his home country. He's actually a coach at my boxing gym, and he was sparring. He wasn't going all out, you know, but he was keeping me honest. He was still trying to like outwork me, you know, and the gap in experience showed. But I definitely held my own, and I'm satisfied with that. But in one way, but I'm not satisfied with it because I'm like, I should be doing better. I want to go blow for blow, people. I'm not going to be satisfied ever with just competing with someone and holding my own. No, I want to be ahead of everybody, and it's going to take years and years and years, but those years will be worth it all in the end, because if those years go by and I don't push to improve, I'll always remain the same, and for a lifetime I will live with regret. I'd rather keep pushing myself now and be ahead in the years to come. But the next time I sparred, I thought of this, and I said, okay, I can't just stick to one strategy. I gotta keep changing it. One moment, you go up close, and you catch their shots, you counter them, you tire them out, you stay on them. Let's say they move this way. Go that way, go to the left. You stay on them, move this way. Stay on them. They're throwing shots, a counter. Keep throwing, throw the openings, and every time you move your head once in a while, even when they're not throwing, keep them guessing. Boom, while you're moving, you know, but stay alert. And then you move away, you know, switch it. And you throw it. And you back away, you look for just the jab. Work on the jab, switch the rhythm. Feint it, don't be predictable. Fast. You know? Boom, hook instead. And then you just go for openings. And instead of offense, defense, I'm just focusing on offense now. But I'm still keeping the guard up, still defending. And then I realized one thing. Sometimes you gotta realize you're not boxing the opponent. You don't see the opponent. You don't be afraid of the opponent. Never put them on a pedestal. They're all humans. All there is a target. And I started looking at it like this. I'm like, just see targets. Don't see an opponent. Don't see this national champion, whatever. See targets. And objects coming at you. And when I started doing that, I feel so much more fluid. Just see targets. Boom. And if there's no targets, make targets. Punch where there is. Punch where you can. But stay alert. You know? And switch the rhythm. Offense, defense. Focus on the targets. Boom. I'm back in defensive mode. Switch offensive, defensive. Then you go just see targets. Bah, bah. Just see targets. When you're constantly switching, you come up close, cut them up. When you constantly switch your strategy, that is what keeps their mind active. That is what keeps the opponent unable to adjust to us, to you, to me. And those are adjustments I made because I was disappointed with how I did. I know I did okay. I did alright. But I don't want to just be okay with doing alright. Some people will say, I didn't do bad. You know, I'm satisfied with it. No. I did alright. I didn't do good. I didn't do really good. Maybe to some I did good, but not to myself. And that's why I think about it. It's like implement new strategies. And, you know, for everything. For my body. Right now, okay, maybe I've got above average muscle mass right now. But compare that to Floyd Mayweather. Compare that to even Deandre. Compare that to, or even like, you know, world-class athletes, right? Compared to some of those guys, it's nothing. It's above average. I'm not satisfied with that. And some people will be like, why are you not satisfied with how you look? Why would I be satisfied when I could look better? When I could have chiseled abs instead of a little bit of showing out, I could have it chiseled. I can have this popping out. I have a long way to go, but I'll get there. Every single day, I'm gonna try to get better than I was yesterday. The only one I'm competing against is myself. That's my only competition, is to be a better me than who I was yesterday. If a day goes by that I didn't improve in some way, and of course, sometimes we have work, sometimes we have things that come up. Every day we cannot train, right? But I would say, let's be more realistic. If a week goes by and I didn't get better than I was last week, I'm not satisfied. And so, neither should anybody else. So, to everybody watching this, keep grinding. Keep being a better you. And remember, your biggest disappointments are the keys to improvements if you reflect on it enough. And continue following me on my journey. Because months, maybe 6 months from now, maybe 4 months, maybe years from now, I guarantee you, things will change. As long as I keep the same mindset and constantly evolve. And so will you. So follow me on this journey, and soon, we'll show you Deandre's thoughts. And you'll get to see him featured for the first time in my vlogs. So, stay tuned. So Deandre, my first question is, I gave a little speech to everybody, and what's your thoughts on it? Do you feel like the speech I gave is accurate? Like, does it relate to yourself in any way, or like, what's your opinion on it?
I think your speech was pretty impactful because I think it really hits home the message of just pushing yourself and staying true to what you want in life and giving it your energy and all every day, just working at it.
Exactly. Now, one thing I did touch on is, overcoming the doubt of others, not caring about what people say. And part of that is because I believe people have all kinds of stupid opinions on anything, right? There could be a vaccine that could cure, well, not cure, but prevent you from getting a virus, and people, they could wear a mask to, decrease your chance from spreading it, and people say that's stupid. Anything people will say is stupid. And I would say, in my opinion, to listen to people that actually understand your situation, and, is not just judging from a first impression, someone who has knowledge in what they're speaking about. And I want to know, for you, how do you deal with doubt? If somebody says you can't make it in football, for example, or you will never be better than this person, what would you say is your way of dealing with that?
The way I deal with doubt is I just stay true to yourself and your words. If you say you're gonna do something, you stay true and you do it.
Exactly.
I think if someone just says you can't do something, I should actually just use that as extra motivation. That motivation,
Extra motivation. That's true.
Yeah, just stay to you.
What would you say to somebody out there that's getting doubted, and they let it affect them? They start, they start giving in. They start saying, maybe I can't do it. What's your opinion? Let's say if you saw somebody right now beside you, and they were like, they said I couldn't make it. They said I was gonna be his best soccer player. Let's say his dad said he could do it, and he joined soccer, and he didn't really achieve as much as he thought, and everybody counted him out.
I think
what would you say to that person?
Having someone who can help uplift you is definitely a big positive.
Right.
But yeah, just stick with it, because you never know. Maybe on that last try you gave up. If you just tried that one time, you could have got it.
Exactly.
I think that quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Take all the shots because you never know which one you'll make.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. I feel like every time somebody has failed, they always see a blueprint on, okay, what went wrong? Where do I improve? And sometimes it all comes down to just working harder. If you didn't do it one time, work harder the next time. You know what I mean? And focus on the weaknesses, right? And so for you yourself, what are your weaknesses? That you are working on.
Honestly, just keep working. Just working on yourself. I think. Just getting better. That's it.
So it's all about hard work and consistency. And pushing yourself. Now, do you feel like diet, when it comes to sports or stuff specifically, how big of a role do you think diet is when it comes to that? What you eat. Do you feel like it's a huge role or just a small role?
Diet's definitely important in terms of high performance sports. In terms of high performance when it comes to sports. Diet can definitely be the difference between in sports, like sprinting, a second or two, and whatever event you're doing or whatever.
Exactly. Now I do know that you went to Laurier, right? And now we're not too far from it. We're actually, at Guildwood Bluffs. Does this place bring back some memories going here?
Definitely
does.
some good memories. Yeah.
Some good memories. So now let's say what I touched on about social media. Do you feel like a lot of people are living an unhealthy lifestyle and are on their social media all day and are eating junk food all day and are not spending enough time being physically active?
Definitely for sure. I think social media. No, I don't think there's nothing really wrong with it. I think though the main part about it is just that like as much time you spend on social media, you spend on your dreams. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What you want, like. I don't think there's anything wrong with social media. Just you guys should spend more time, spend just as much time on what you want to do. You know?
So let's say for the average person, how much exercise should the average person like do per day? Whether it's running or whether it's working out, lifting weights, doing sit-ups, whatever kind of exercise. But how much would you say a day that they should do?
I think a good indicator is 150 minutes a week.
A week.
So you can split that up through your day, and that's a good indicator.
Now, what about for an athlete? Somebody, who dreams of competing at a high enough level. How much exercise should they commit per week?
For an athlete, it all depends on the sport and where you're at in your stage of your athletic career. Just starting out, you can just do basic exercises, but if you're much more farther into your career, you usually have something specialized within your foot training.
That's true. So now let's say for a sport like boxing, there's a lot of fear involved. There's a lot of potential to be hurt. There's a lot of embarrassment. You take a beating in front of people, that's more embarrassing than a lot of things. And for football itself, right, getting tackled and all the pain involved, there's a lot of fear in that as well. And let's say to somebody involved with contact sports like you and me, it's totally different type of pressure that you feel. And what if there's somebody out there that's trying to start or maybe has done it and is either they're afraid of those risks, they're afraid of taking that embarrassment, they're afraid of taking that physical pain, they're afraid of the risks involved, or they faced it before and they don't want to face it again. What will be your message to somebody who's just afraid?
What helps me with pressure and that is just remembering my training. You put the hard work in. And it's not gonna let the fear or pressure just get to you if you put a lot of work into what you want.
That's
what
true.
helps me.
So, would you say that combat sports or contact sport, I would say, because football is not really combat, but it's heavy on contact. So combat/contact sports such as boxing and football, would you say that it's at least 80% mental or mostly psychological, or is it mostly physical?
I think it's definitely a good blend of both. Definitely a good blend of both.
It's kind of like 50-50. That's true. That's true.
Definitely very physical because as much mental as it is, once you get hit, you're feeling that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess fitness is important. You can have the smartest mind, but what happens if you're tiring out and the person is just that comparable of skill to the point where your smarts are not outlasting their stamina, you know what I mean? So definitely it's the fitness levels matter the most, but a lot of the time too it's it's always a balance of everything, but so let's say for you, for your football and stuff, I know that football matches, they've basically been shut down. Boxing matches, you can't do that for a while. It's been such a long time. And it's my mom calling. I'll answer it later. But anyways, a lot of people are going through a lot of mental health problems during COVID. Even till this day, things are opening up still, but there's still a lot missing out. And especially back in last winter, it was people that had mental health problems were such a big deal. Not even just to athletes, just to people in general who miss their partying, who miss going out, who miss social interaction of any kind. What would you say are good ways to keep people more mentally stable, more happy during this pandemic?
I think just doing what you like doing, that if you can do it, you know. For example, if you like partying, maybe hold a, like during the pandemic, maybe hold a party by yourself, I guess, right? Or if you like working out, work out by yourself or whatever, you know.
And one final question, you know, during this pandemic, me personally, I've like reflected a lot. My mindset has made a complete 180 on a lot of things. For you, do you feel like the lockdown has gave you more time to think to yourself and to reflect and change your mindset? Do you feel like you've changed during this whole COVID situation?
Definitely gives me a lot of my time to think my own thoughts, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And one final question. What is your overall message to somebody who really wants to improve, but you know, maybe they're struggling right now? You know, the results are so slow and they're on the verge of quitting. What's your final message to somebody who's like, you know, close to quitting because they just don't feel like they're genetically able to do it, you know?
Definitely give it one more shot. That could be your breakthrough, you never know. Try again until
Yeah, I guess it's always yeah, and the way I see it too is like, let's say if I'm climbing a hill, right, for example, maybe I can't climb one path, but there's always another path. There's always adjustments that we can make, you know? There's always different changes in our mindset that we can make to get there. And you know, I believe that also for you, I believe you'll make it for your goals as well. You have the work ethic, always believe in yourself, always stay positive, whatever nobody says, because maybe there'll be times in your life where, and for most people, like, where, you know, for example, like Manny Pacquiao back in 2012, he got knocked out against Marquez. A lot of people said he should retire, but he went on to win other belts. He went on to win other championships. And maybe for you, one day you'll make it. You'll start, you know, making it big achievements, and at some point you'll hit a decline, right? But I think that those points in life sometimes are what help us grow, you know, what help us improve, we come back stronger, you know. So for you, no matter what, I believe that as long as you keep your mindset, you continue evolving, and you keep your work ethic, you're definitely gonna make it as well, you know, on your dreams. So, you know, here's a props to Deandre for all the hard work he's put in. Like, you know, this guy, every time I see him, he's running, he's doing all you know, 5-10K runs. You know, it's hard to keep up with him. You know, one time we were at Mason Road, we were doing sprints. I was out of breath and he was just breathing a little heavy, but he was ready to go, like way more, you know. So his work ethic is crazy, and Deandre, you know, that's the main thing in everything is hard work. And a lot of people, you know, they're not willing to get out their comfort zone to push themselves so much, but you are. And you know, definitely that I gotta give you a double fist bump, because I respect your hard work. You know, I'm willing to increase it to the point where I'm like, I gotta be like Deandre. When I'm tiring, I'm like, I gotta be like Deandre, you know. Push yourself when you're tired, you know. And that's how we improve, you know. So step by step, improvements will be made. And you know, like they always say, the sky is the limit. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so now we're gonna run back, you know, from the Guildwood Bluffs. And at least gonna be a 30-minute run. And we're gonna push ourselves. You know, and each time all this mental and physical pain that we feel from this, it's gonna pay off. So hopefully we can finish it. We did, it took us 29 minutes to run 2.7 miles. Hopefully this time we can at least beat it by maybe a few minutes at least. But you never know until you try. So let's see how it goes.
Who said I ain't the hardest? I made a verse, now she wanna eat like the harvest. I went through a phase like Jarvis, I'm a caution and a warning. Bro said if he gets rude then spark him. But I ain't violent, now they all gone silent. Never tired, not yawning in the studio.
Alright guys, so we ran from Guildwood. We kept going on the left side, straight. probably for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, and we ended up reaching Doris McCarthy Trail, you know, which me, Sean, and Mary went here, you know, some months ago, quite a few months ago, and Sean's brother was also running that same day. Me and Sean did some sparring. We did some running right on that pathway over, on this pathway over here. You know, we ran back and forth for probably like 10 minutes or so, and I could say my cardio was definitely came a long way. We still have a lot left to go, but I guess now it's just like a couple minutes break and we'll get back to it. I think if you go straight ahead, then you'll end up seeing the Bluffs. So Guildwood, Doris McCarthy, and then straight up ahead is Bluffs.
Hey, views down, they're calling me a star. I really can't hide like pop. Little BCK, he's never gonna make it. I got plugged, now they're calling me famous. I'm trying to fly like a spaceship. Told my broski I don't listen to haters. And it's true, they try to put me on the floor like a shoe. And I really gotta show them what I do. Do it for my margin, my crew, it's true. Why you wanna stay back for? Used to ditch me, now you wanna get speaking. Now I'm the one that's leaving. I'm heating the scene with the heat that I'm breathing. I'm keeping grinding, no sleeping. Remember days when I didn't get sleeping. I'm writing bars all the time, I'm freezing cold. And I'm playing with chest that I'm wavy. Many man hate me, it's crazy. There was times when I didn't get a play G. Now they wanna copy, I ain't talking pastry. Them man move snaky, it's brazy. And I can't take fake love, you either like me or you don't. Tell the truth, let the truth be told. I ain't dealing with lies, cause that shit is old, yo. Hold up, who said I'm finished? I'm back and I ain't even done. This jewel beat got spun. Shout my bros, they know I'm the one. I ain't smart, I ain't dumb. I'm showing the world how it's done. Listen, 15 and I'm way too cold. The haters are mugs. They're all telling me I'm underrated. It's amazing, let me get these papers. Haters try talking my name, let them talk. They want good to talk as a pagans. Yo, what you talking for? Talk too much, man, it's getting so boring. Scoring goals like a striker, piercing off this scene like Morgan. How many days am I on the grind? They're asking me and I answer them. I say ask my pen, I'm far from them. Spit straight bar at them. They spark a blem, I'm alarming them. My whole life is made up of half the pen. They used to laugh at me, I laugh at them. I reversed it, keep quiet, I'm working.